Welcome to the Old Capitol Conversation. I'm National Underwriter Paul Peebles. Thanks for joining us. The Old Capitol Conversation talks with the best apartment sponsors and owners in Texas. Today, we are at Terraces on the Parkway in Grand Prairie, Texas. This is a beautiful property. Today, we are with Bhuvan and Pratima Sharma. They are the sponsors of the transaction. Guys, thanks for joining us.
A pleasure.
Tell us a little bit about this nice, good-looking property.
This is Terraces on the Parkway in the heart of Grand Prairie. It's a 296-door property, and we just took over at the end of February.
End of February, wasn't that when all this COVID stuff was coming up?
Oh, that was really crazy times, Paul. We closed on 28th, and a week later, COVID hit, and world was locked. It made us nervous. It made everybody nervous. Everything had to go on hold, and we had to fall back on online applications, online marketing. Online working. They staff to work from home if we had to lock the doors here. So yes, those were tough times, but we learned quick enough.
You got it done. So tell me a little bit about some of the rehab. You guys brought money in to kind of fix and update this property. Again, what year is this property?
This is 1970.
So we want to get it updated as high as possible. So how much money did you guys put into this property for rehab, and what did it go into?
So far, we have done about 13 plus items already. We had put the property on hold for upgrades. We were only doing major upgrades when we took over because of COVID.
Sure.
But then we started easing that off with exterior upgrades. And within last 4 or 5 months, we have already completed a whole lot. List starts with 19 roofs totally redone. There are 26 roofs on this property. 7 were done by the seller. And we just did a $500,000, a $500,000 project. And in the last 2 months, upgraded 19 roofs.
Did Bhuvan write that check? Was his hand shaking a little bit? So let's kind of go through some of the things that you upgraded on the property. You spoke about the roofs. What else on the exterior?
So exterior, we have done the painting. The front facade, prior to us taking over, you enter the property, it was all black color. And
That's not very appealing when you're walking in.
No, it was like a warehouse. Now we have lightened up that area.
Sure.
We have put wood paneling on the patios and the balconies to uplift that. It's very inviting for the people driving by, and they want to come into the property and check it out.
Sure.
We have added a big, huge welcome sign. So as they walk into our patio in front of our office, it just gives that positive vibe.
It pops.
It pops.
And what did you guys do with the interiors? Did you upgrade some of the interiors?
Our plan was to raise the rents by making some of the units on the property as premium units. So with premium units, we increased the kitchen size and added granite countertops,
nice.
Chandeliers, that created a bar countertop.
Sure.
So it gives like an urban living kind of look and feel. And the property has a lot of families living here who have schools close by. They don't want to move to another property. They have all the amenities around them, and so they just want to go transfer to an upgraded unit. So just to give you an example, we were hoping that with this premium unit, we'll be able to take the rents about 100 to 150 above market. Our first lease of a premium unit gave us a lift of $300 above market.
During this COVID time, that's unbelievable.
Yes, and so that's the need on this property which we had projected, and we were right on target. Other than that, we have leased over 70 reserve parking spaces, which is going at $25.
So a little incremental income on that too. That's great.
Not only that, we are about to put 100 carports on this property, and those we will try to lease from $50 to $65 depending on how it's received by the residents.
Wow.
Other than that, when you entered this property, the landscape was huge, but there weren't as many flowers, some dried grass, some dried shrubs, and just a lot of empty area. So we reduced that landscape, so reduced the expense of upkeep of that, and we added 4 parking spaces. And all those 4 parking spaces are now leased, getting us $25 per space.
Let's talk a little bit more about where this property is located at. You're in Grand Prairie, which is really between Dallas and Fort Worth, kind of right in the center, in one of the largest industrial warehouses next door to you. You're right next to I-30, so a great visibility for this property. You have a new on-ramp that's coming in off of I-30, so you probably couldn't be in a better location in the Dallas-Fort Worth metropolitan area. How close are you to Cowboy Stadium?
Yeah.
We are within 5 miles from Cowboy Stadium, the Six Flags, Hurricane Harbor, main entertainment district here, the Lone Star Park, you name it. Not only this entertainment district, we are very close to the major thoroughfare here, I-90, the 30. You connect to 635 from there within minutes and 20. And not only that, location is the key point for this area. All 3 schools are within 1 mile. In fact, the high school is right across the street. And on top of that, there is a small shopping plaza which is right on the property, a gas station as well as the shopping plaza.
And who typically is going to be your tenant on this property, and what do they do for a living?
Right. So we have tenants from everywhere. We have a teacher, we have people who work for a hospital. There's some that work for housing, work for Walmart, some of the shopping center, gas station. The one thing that Paul we do is we want to bring the sense of community here. So these people, they're hardworking people. We talk about the premium unit upgrade. So we see the demand, and that's the reason we were able to increase our rent, and we provide them with premium units.
You talk about the sense of community. You guys are famous for building a sense of community on some of your other properties. How's it going here? And tell us a little bit about what you guys do to bring the community together.
We take pride in bringing the lives to the next level of our residents, right? We have done that through major activities involving kids, activities involving adults. So for example, we have after school programs that we align with YMCA or some of the other organizations, and we take care of the expenses with YMCA, so it is at very minimal cost to our residents. Back to school supplies given free to all kids. We promote education, that if our next generation is that much educated, that's how much a difference we can make in the world. We take kids for healthy living training. We take them to Whole Foods and ask them to read the label so they can make the right choice for them. We have English as second language classes held at the property for the adults so they can communicate better.
What a huge list that the Sharmas are working on for sense of community. But you guys have put lots of money into the rehabbing of this property. You have good tenants on the property, and you have a sense of community on this property too. How has the tenant base rewarded you with higher rents during these crazy times?
They have, just helped us by renewing. They see the changes coming to the property and they are very happy. So we see a high renewal rate at the property, and we are able to take the rents at least 2 to 3% up even during these tough times.
Boy, you guys have really worked hard to make this a success. Did this just come automatic to you? Because, again, how long have you been doing it, and how many units do you guys own and manage?
So we have been doing this for about 8 years.
And you came out of the IT business.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm from telecommunications in the research and development.
Has many patents too, so she's world famous. Look her up on Google, please. And so what industry did you come with?
So I came from IT background too. I was in compliance for 18 years. And my job was to basically make sure that our internal controls are correct. You know, all the IT side that nobody can come into my home, basically.
I get it.
That was part of my job.
I get it. So how many units do you guys own and manage and control?
So over the 8 years, we have transacted through 5,800 doors,
5,800 units.
5,800 units. That includes the general partner units or syndicator units, as well as the limited partner units and key principal units.
Wow.
We have our transaction for just syndicated properties is over 112 million. And we are so proud to say that in last 8 years, we have paid our members, the 7Cs members, over $20 million back in distribution. So
You've pushed out 20 million back to the investors that have invested with you. That's fantastic. Are you looking for more properties like this, or are you looking to buy maybe a little nicer property, a little bit more of a property you're going to hold for a longer period of time? Tell me a little bit about what's on the Sharma's wish list.
So we have been looking for properties in last 2-3 months. Initially, we didn't think that this year we'll be able to buy because of COVID, but
Sure.
market opened up, and this is still kind of seller's market. So we have written over 20-30 underwritings. And what we see is that some of the units which are coming on the market, some of the properties are 130 to 145 a door and full value add.
And these are older properties. Older, like 30 years old.
1980s, yes. And by the time you upgrade them, you are looking at another $10,000 to $15,000. So the price has gone more up, and you're almost close to an A-class asset.
In terms of cost.
Exactly right.
But it's an older technology, so all the sewer lines are old, the HVAC is old, all the electrical lines are old, the parking lot's old. So why do that where you could buy a newer property and you don't have to put the money back into the property every year?
Right.
Exactly,
And so what you were thinking is that the pricing is going to probably be similar, but why buy an older property where you could buy a newer property, you're thinking, and keep it for a longer period of time? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, I think you're doing right, because just like I said, the cap prices compression going on, and so we start looking at something like higher upper class community where we can actually see some newer amenities out there.
Yeah.
You know, something they have a better fitness center, they may have some better like maybe some playing area, nicer swimming pool, resort kind of style. You know, it's something in an area there we have, you know, a lot of millennium who wants to live there, or maybe like people like us who is retired, who some point will be moving away from home.
Sure.
They don't want to take the responsibility of mowing the lawn and cleaning the house like that. Smaller, maybe 2,000 square feet, something like that, and they can live there happily, no responsibility.
Yeah, probably a property that's maybe a stabilized property that gives a good yield over a period of time.
Right.
If people wanted to find out more about what you guys do, and if they think they want to partner up with you, what's the best way for them to get in contact with you?
Is via email, which is 7cs@7cshld.com.
So 7Cs, we have Bhuvan and Pratima Sharma that came with us today on this great journey of buying maybe a little bit older property, rehabbing the property, showing some love back into the property for the community itself, and the community has rewarded them with higher rents even during this crazy time. So if you're thinking about maybe investing in apartments, you're not too sure, you want to call the Sharmas and kind of figure out a little bit about what they're doing, and maybe you can participate with them. Again, Bhuvan, Pratima, thanks for joining us today. I'm Paul Peebles. Have a great day.